Now, as you know, the era of artificial intelligence has begun, and it is an era in which AI hardware and software could become widely available to consumers and could profoundly change our lives. Take Sounderlikes, for instance, which can create an AI voice that's completely indistinguishable from the voice of the real person. So you may or may not recognize a voice on the internet, but what you hear might, in any case, not actually be the voice of the person you think it is. What you might have heard is called a Sounderlike, which is created by artificial intelligence software. But now, in light of disputed audio leaks, such as the purported religious war phone conversation between Peter Obi of the Labour Party and Bishop David Oyedepo, founder of the Living Faith Church, there are growing concerns, both here and abroad, that combining artificial intelligence with extraordinary data gathering capabilities is creating this powerful technology, which, if not properly regulated, could have a massive effect on the generation of fake news and a whole lot more. Well, for more on this, I'm joined now in the studio by the tech expert Femi Adeagbo, who is CEO of Comnavig ICT Consultants, a company that provides expert advisory services for a broad range of genres. And thank you very much indeed for joining us. Good to see you again.
Good to see you. It's been a while, hasn't it? Yes.
Well, let me tap your brains, because you know a lot. You're well advanced in these things, much better than a lot of people, ordinary people, because you're obviously an expert at it. I mean, these clips that are called Sounderlikes, they're basically indistinguishable from the voice of the real person. Just how groundbreaking and transformative is this digital technology?
It's been around for a couple of years now, and even beyond audio, you can actually have deepfakes. So there's a video of Charles actually doing something
when it isn't actually
when it's in Charles. Of course, the problem then is it could be Charles, and Charles will now say it's just a deepfake. So the big problem, I think, is even for evidential purposes.
Yeah.
Because then we have a case where we don't know what is true and what is not.
But there must be a way of verifying whether or not it's a doctored tape.
Yes, but
not.
it's an extensive, it's an
It's a
involved. So
process.
imagine yourself presiding in a law court, for example. Now I bring my expert, it says it's fake. You bring your expert, it says it's not fake. How do we resolve it? So it requires very, very robust thought around regulation, because AI also has tremendous advantages. But if you situate it, for example, in the context of what we experience with social media, tremendous advantages, collaboration, communication. But I think we all agree now that it has its very, very, very dark and disturbing sides, which, quite frankly, have influenced an entire generation. So we need to really have very robust
yeah, that's a very good
conversations
point.
around AI.
I'm going to get to the issue of regulation, because that's, as you said, it's a very important thing. But this digital technology has been described as both, as you said just now, the world's greatest achievement and its biggest existential threat because of what it potentially could do. Because basically, you've now got the ability to produce content which is indistinguishable from human work.
It's a problem. Look, I downloaded, I mean, some countries are already banning. I mean, Italy, I think this morning actually banned ChatGPT. I downloaded ChatGPT a few weeks ago, and it occurred to me, this thing was saying, well, I also want to be human. I want to have a dark side.
That's scary.
Yes, I want to be able to hack computers, and I'm thinking, actually, maybe I should delete this app. So I deleted it.
Yeah, because they might choose your computer
to hack,
yeah.
And then who do I hold responsible? OpenAI, you know. So you have to. If you watch this film, I think we've spoken about this on this channel about a year and a half ago. IRobot.
Yes, I remember seeing
If you
it.
go back and watch IRobot now with more, with the broader eyes of what's happening around us today, then you will recognize the dangers.
Yes.
But it's just like nuclear technology. Anything that can have such
Immense power.
yes, oftentimes comes with immense destructive capabilities. So if we use the nuclear as a parallel, this can just be as bad, because a time would come when we just don't know what is what. You know, the news is coming out, you're not sure it's real. I'm seeing Charles on a rise announcing something, then Charles comes out 5 minutes later and says, it's not me, I never said so. But we don't even know whether it was the earlier version, that's the original, or the denial version. So we can't have that metaverse existence. And it's quite surprising. This is where a lot of the tech advocates seem to be pushing the world towards, apart from a few like Elon Musk, who is saying, look, let's
put the brakes on.
Yeah, but it's almost, let's go into this world of no rules, no anything is anything. You can be anything you want in the morning, you can be something else in the evening, you know. And the world, Charles, was built on order. Everything that's achieved anything useful was built on process and order. Transformation, evolution, not disruption. I think AI is coming with a disruptive edge, which we really need to be careful about. Not to talk about the job displacement and all sorts of other tailwinds in effect, but the fake news aspect is a real problem.
Well, some would make the argument that we're simply imitating nature, because nature does have its destructive side. You've got volcanoes, you've got earthquakes, you've got tsunamis, you've got all kinds of things that suddenly come and shatter everything. I mean, you could argue that there is some order in the chaos, in the sense that it kind of lays out a new, you know, world, or a new sort of new earth or whatever. But you know, what I want to...
And they don't have economies built around them. You don't sit in a room and press a button to activate a volcano. With these technologies, it's pretty much cash and carry.
Well, the difference with volcanoes and things is that we're not the ones who are pressing the button.
Absolutely,
but something else is clearly, you know, the plates are rubbing against each other, and then something happens and it erupts. But the big challenge, and you mentioned this earlier, is of course to make sure that the rights and regulations can catch up with the technology. What's the story on that from a legal point of view? Because I know you've been keeping an eye on that.
Well, I think different regulators are at different points of...
and of course it depends on whatever country, isn't it?
And even their statutory mandates, even within Nigeria, say for example, and where they think it would have an impact or may have an impact. And I think AI is going to have a cross-cutting impact, to be honest. Whether it's in consumer affairs, whether it's in, you know, telecoms, whether it's in broadcasts, it's going to be of significance. Cross-cutting. So I think it really requires a nonsense, because what happens when you talk about regulation, activists come out, no rights, oppression. No, we can't exist in a world where Charles is not Charles, but I can pay somebody to put Charles in a situation where he has to start defending himself.
Yeah, well, in that context.
Or where Charles does something wrong, and I have the evidence, and Charles just says, well, it's a deep fake.
Well, I think the key thing is to have the evidence to be able to show definitively that it is a deep fake. And in that context, I was going to ask you, without putting you on the spot, what you think of that religious war phone conversation between Peter Obi of the Labour Party and Bishop David Oyedepo, founder of the Living Faith Church. I mean, it could be either way. That's the point you're making, basically.
I haven't actually listened to it, to be honest. But it could be either way. From what I caught on in the past, you know, it could be either way.
Yeah.
So I don't think that's an isolate, because we had all sorts of clips, videos preceding the elections, during and after, and that is the problem with this deepfake of a thing, because everybody can deny, but at the same time, you could be minding your business, you could be innocent, and you could find yourself all of a sudden explaining the next minute. So it's not something to be toyed with.
Sure.
It's something that needs heavy sanctions. We said this at the beginning of social media and the fake news thing. And once it became industrialized, where you have 100 people in a room who are paid to generate falsehood about somebody else, and you have this new economy around falsehood, once you don't come out with heavy sanctions to deter human behavior, it just basically grows exponentially.
Right. We've got less than a minute or so. So your assessment from an expert's point of view is that this is both a tremendous opportunity that we should embrace, but without proper regulation, it could become a huge threat. So potentially a legal minefield there.
Yeah, we should figure out what parts of it to embrace and what parts of it not to embrace, because there are AI applications, for example, maybe advanced level coding, maybe programming robotics, that are beneficial to the human existence, maybe sequencing formulas for medical advancements. I can understand all that, but there are aspects that deal with economic displacement, job opportunity displacement, fake news, that we should not embrace, and we should provide a framework,
a regulatory framework,
yeah, for sanctioning those who use those technologies inappropriately.
Femi, it's been a pleasure talking with you, and thank you very much indeed.
Thank you very much for having me.
Femi Adeagbo is a tech expert, CEO of Comnavig ICT Consultants, a company that provides expert advisory services for a broad range of ICT genres. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you very much, Charles.